F1 Manager. We're here with Imola up next. Welcome in, Sean. How are things? And hopefully the audio's coming through here. Let me check the audio really quick. Let me get two number nines. Yeah, the audio's coming through. Okay, so anyway, where we left off last time, clearly we've not did our designs. Okay, interesting. Okay, muy interesante. So where we've left off, we've our next ATR period. And what can we do to the car? Oh, big chassis upgrade, potentially. I like that. We've already did a big rear wing upgrade, so I don't see that like massively improving. We could do a couple of upgrades that could really upgrade our straight line speed here, because I feel like that is our biggest issue, is the drag reduction system. So we're just gonna make these passable. Side pods is very good. And then on the floor, let's see, what can we actually upgrade here? Okay. If we upgrade all three, that should be 1 kph top speed, I would say. So yeah, I'm thinking all those three. And we'll keep it relatively balanced, but thinking, yeah, that's good there. I want to actually though make it like not horrific. I don't want to have to, there we go. That's really as low as we can go. Let's do that. There's a new underfloor coming in. And then we're gonna have new chassis. And let's see how much we can get away with here. I mean, we can do way more straight line speed, but then as you can see, it takes us loads out of the thing. So I think we're just gonna leave it so that it's all really in the straight line speed. And next design will be side pods. And again, I don't really want to ruin parts here and there. Oh, this is just engine. There we go. Okay. I don't want to make any parts worse, whilst also gaining as much as possible here. And we'll do another design. Let's see where we can upgrade here. Suspension, I feel like there's a lot left on the table here. The airflow front does affect the low speed. I need to double check, are we still... What is our car analysis? Because I know the straight line speed could be better. We're way better than McLaren. Red Bull are half a kph quicker. Better acceleration. But a pretty similar car. Mercedes just better top speed. Alpine better high speed. Williams actually a better car. Kind of marginal, but still a better car. Haas only better in top speed. AlphaTauri, yeah. Alfa Romeo though, our main rivals, actually slower. What? So chat, Alfa Romeo have 0 DRS effectiveness. Zero? Our car's just like better than theirs. I don't know why they're always so close to us. Meanwhile, our car is significantly better than the Aston Martin. Well, maybe not significantly, but it's just better in every way. Huh. But you are seeing that, Sean, yeah? Alfa Romeo's DRS effectiveness is 0%. Let me change the car. Ah, there we go. Okay, Sean, I know what that is. There's a rear wing or something that needs replaced on Pourchaire's car. So this is closer to the actual car of the Alfa Romeo. So they're actually very similar to our car, just better in acceleration. That's all that was, Sean. It was the... Because if I switch back to Pourchaire's car, you can see its DRS effectiveness is 0. So they're like missing a rear wing on that car. That is what that is. You know what I mean? Although to be fair, we're missing some parts here as well. So maybe if we put our parts back on again, it'll up our parts. Let's have a look at car analysis again here. Yeah, now we're completely better than McLaren. I feel like McLaren are better than us in some areas, but now it's like completely better. Has anything changed there? Not particularly. Oh, McLaren are horrific in the low speed. This must be their car. No, McLaren need to change their parts or some shit. I don't know. Something's going on there. Ollie is missing something on his car because his car is slower than Charles, especially in low speed. Welcome in, or welcome into the stream. What is Ollie missing? Ah, he's missing the suspension. Right. Would have been helpful to know that earlier. So, yep, there's things missing, or we're confused. We are confusion, as a wise man once said. But let's just look at grid average again here. Where are we losing out most in grid average? really nowhere. Where are we losing out to McLaren? I mean, nowhere. Where are we losing out to Alfa Romeo? Acceleration, that's the only thing. So let's try and design something that upgrades our acceleration. I mean, you only really get 0.1 of acceleration ever. I mean, yeah, what's going on with Williams? Williams are like way better in the corners, I think. Let's have a look at Williams again. Yeah, Williams are way like they're slightly better in the corners, much better in the mid speed, but in the low and high speed it's marginal. And then top speed they've better than us, but we do have that DRS effectiveness and acceleration. But yeah. I've seen honestly, Sean, I've seen way bigger gaps before. That gap is not that big. But anyway, how's it going? Please stay. Don't leave. I swear I'm interesting. Now what can we upgrade here that is worthy of our time? So how did your coaches meeting go? Did you coach the meeting? I don't know what happens at coaches meetings. Suspension is like not really any point upgrading it, to be honest. Rear wing, I don't think there'll be any point here of us even looking. I mean, we will look, but as you can see, any gain will be extremely marginal here. Yeah, we physically can't even improve the rear wing unless we invest in MFD Rs or whatever. I think front wing is the only place we're going to be able to improve here. Yeah, let's just take that. I think let's just take that little upgrade. Although, you know what? How much is this going to cost? It's so marginal. I'm not even going to spend 1.6 million because it's so marginal. I think I'm just going to manufacture. Talked about team morale. I'm preparing season start. Is the team morale thing just being like, stop, hey, what's that sound? All the mammoths are in the ground. No, it's not that. That's from my siege. I don't think we need any more side pods or underfloor because we will be designing them as well as new chassis. But we do have Imola next. And let's see here. There is something that needs refurbed soon. The team hub is like days away from getting refurbed. I think that's about it. Ollie's improved his braking, which is good because the main area we're struggling with Ollie is pace now. I'm not really scared about him crashing. It's more just half the girls are lacking confidence, the other half are getting mad at each other. Have you tried saying how would one develop confidence? Have you tried saying to them, at least you're not Ferrari? I feel like that would help, you know. At least you're not Ferrari. I started watching Drive to Survive again, the last season 5, to build up hype for the next season that they bring out. And I forgot how horrific they were in 2022. Like, could have actually gone for the championship levels in 2022 with the amount of fuck-ups they did. Like, severe fuck-ups to the point where... Because when I think back of the year 2022, I think, oh, that was Red Bulls, there's no way Ferrari were winning that. But whenever I'm watching Drive to Survive back again, I'm like, wait, I forgot the magnitude and the regularity of Ferrari's blatant fuck ups. Like, so many. So many. And it's like, think of the points Leclerc would have if it weren't for all of the fuck ups. Because even though the gap to Verstappen still may have been big, yeah, the gap may have been big to Verstappen in the end, but if they hadn't have been making fuck-ups throughout the season, that would have put more pressure on Verstappen, thus opened the door to more points, which, if you're under pressure, honestly, I don't know anyone who, like, performs better under pressure in terms of racing, because it just makes you, like, tense and antsy. It's whenever you're more relaxed, I feel, is sometimes when you're at your best. But anyway, let's do our training schedule here. What we need to do is we need to put these on balanced. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet ain't got no freedom. But yeah. Sometimes you just gotta think, why Ferrari, why? Alright, that's us. Welcome in, Vanguard. Welcome by the singing. Here. At a point, Vanguard, this may just become a singing stream, you know what I mean? Just, I'll be taking requests. We'll be just doing karaoke, basically. Karaoke stream. Come on, Team Hub, we want to refurb you. There we go. I knew we were days away from refurbing Team Hub, and there we go. That'd be funny, or if if I did have hours long of like background music, just constantly going on, and it was all me. The background music was all me and songs that I had made. The next big refurb is probably going to be our factory. Well, it'll be CFD Simulator first, but the factory is very important. It is muy importante. But anyway, now chat, we'll be loading into the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, also known as the San Marino Grand Prix.
Welcome along to Italy, and welcome along to Imola.
What do I need to have as a soundbite, Vanguard?
Italy, Imola hosts the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, named after the region it sits in. Surrounded by woodland, this iconic track is rich with Formula One history, the legends of those who raced here. And it's an old school track with
Just different sound bits of me singing. You know, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, we're now in Imola, and in Imola, we actually don't have an insane car. We were going through car analysis there, and it said we had one of the best cars, and now that I'm looking at the car analysis, we do not have one of the best cars. Our car is actually looking kind of stinky here on the right hand side here. Very true, or very true. In the wait, we now have qualifying, 8DA qualifying.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, I feel like there is an issue with the car. There's an issue with the car. Our high speed is not as good as once proclaimed. I might save Imagine by John Lennon. Imagine all the people. I don't actually know, like, any more lyrics to that song. That is the only lyrics I know, Vanguard, is Imagine all the people. And anytime someone says imagine in a sentence, I just say all the people. Anyway, we're gonna have Behrman follow Leclerc out here in Q1. A radio check, okay.
Radio check.
No,
Loud and clear. And focus on your tire steps.
Copy that.
So just a steady build up of temps now.
Copy.
You'll never guess what, chap. It's Oscar Piastri coming to block one of our laps. I feel like Behrman will never out-qualify Leclerc this whole season.
And stay negative.
3 tenths down isn't bad, but it just gives me the vibe that he will never out-qualify Leclerc this season. Would you agree, Chad? Do you think at any point Behrman will out-qualify Leclerc? Or do you fall in love just a little bit every day with someone new? I don't even know the lyrics to that either, but I just know the sounds. So I fall in love just a little bit every day with someone new. You know? Oh. Well, Leclerc and Behrman got through relatively comfortably. What was the new thing today, or I'm interested. Leclerc followed by Behrman.
Green light.
Green light, green light. There is an Aston Martin here who could block us, which I'm worried about. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay negative.
Leclerc yet again goes 3/10 quicker than Behrman. He went 3/10 quicker than himself in Q1. You can see those mediums improving on the hards. I think we're just gonna go out again on the mediums, just to see what we can see is the reality. Welcome in, Mike. How's it things? Does the Alfa Romeo want to get out of the way ever? Leclerc's gone purple in the middle sector. Interesting. Is Leclerc going to improve here? Is Behrman going to improve? Leclerc, I don't believe improved. Behrman did improve very marginally, but I believe that is going to be it from us in qualifying. I don't really think we're going to get eliminated here. It races for us Americans, but had a bad wreck tonight in the NASCAR Truck Series. I did hear someone say something about the NASCAR Truck Series. I have played one of the truck games, but I just couldn't get a hang of it. You had to cool the brakes with water, but I just couldn't understand it because I would run out of water so quickly. I just didn't know how to, like, I didn't know how to cool the brakes. A truck flipped? Jesus. Wow. Like, on its roof or on its side? Because on its side is understandable, but like on its roof is like, what? How'd that even happen? You know?
All clear in front.
All clear in front. On top of other trucks.
Track clear.
Anyone exiting the box to block us? No, we're gonna have clear runs here in Q3. On top of other trucks. I kinda need to see this. Mike, are you in the Discord by any chance? There's a link in my bio to the Discord, Mike, if you want to join it, if you're not in it. I would love to see a clip of it if you have it. Well, they were going full speed. I'm trying to even imagine what could have happened. Did the truck like brake too late? If you click on my profile, Mike, and then go into my bio, there should be the link to my Discord. There's We Have Fun, and then there's my personal Discord. You can go into my personal Discord. Unfortunately, I do not have the command set up. I don't even know how to set up a bot for Twitch chat. I should probably figure out how to do that, Mike. Now that you've said that, I should figure out how to add the bot to Twitch. Behrman goes 4 tenths slower. Is on the final lap. I'm interested. I need to see a clip of this instant. Now Imola, I think, used to be a soft medium, but I think it's now hard medium. But Behrman now is going to need a strong run here if he wants to qualify high. And I think that's our biggest thing, is qualifying. We're struggling in qualifying with Behrman, and it's kind of just leaving too much. This is an interesting Q3. There you've got both Alpines, Lawson, Maloney, Sargent, and Doohan. I mean, both Alfa Romeos. Interesting. I think I'm just gonna go.
Good low button on the brakes.
Copy that.
Just focus on your time management for now.
Copy.
I'm trying to load this now, Mike, and it's just like perpetually buffering. It says the page is not available. Yeah, it won't let me watch the clip.
All clear in front. Okay to go.
Let me try and find this on YouTube. I'll tell you what we'll do, Mike. Let's try this. What would I YouTube? Taylor Gray crash. They're all from like a year ago. Truck crash. Still from a year ago. Can I slap some filters on this boy? Okay, chat. I'm gonna try and give you a live reaction here. Let's pop this one out. Boom. Let's try and give you a live reaction. I'm gonna guess it's this.
We're using way too many
I've got
platforms
some
for work.
YouTube
We should
ads
just
here.
use Monday.com.
We're not using that many.
I'm not signed into
T-shirt,
premium
I
on
mean,
this
that
one.
was crazy. Like,
Well,
I mean,
these-
I've
these are
never
kinda
avoided so
not
many wrecks in my
trucks.
life. I can't believe I have a clean truck. But I'm not going to complain about it. It's truck racing. It happens. But super proud of truck on garage motor racing. Got a lot of work to do for Talladega with the speed of this thing. But I thought the best strategy for me was to lay low and hopefully be there at the end, and we were, and looks like we came up one short. One short.
That is
That
scary
17
looking.
car
Just amazing.
But like you
went
said, that's
for a
about as
ride.
soft as you can turn one over. That's exactly right. And it didn't just keep tumbling either, like we've seen happen so many times.
Oh my lord.
I don't know if
Jesus.
Roger just lost the front end of his number 71 Chevy or what went down there, but he definitely went up the track and made contact.
This is what is just chaotic about
Look at that
NASCAR,
mess.
is you could just... anything could happen.
Phil, did you see Stefan sliding through there
He
anywhere?
did get through there, yes.
Watch this, just out of nowhere. Smoke, smoke.
What do you mean it knocked the camera off,
Truck.
Mike?
Now, that,
Watch it hit the roof. Man, oh man. That's on the list of things you don't want to see out your windshield.
there goes those
There's the hot dog going by.
Ballpark Frank squeezing through.
Sandwiched to the wall. Jesus.
Amanda?
Raja, there was many ways that I was going to go in this conversation with you, but I saw you hand the phone back that you were just on, and the name said Rick Hendrick.
Awful
What did
to
that
just be
conversation
such
go?
a passenger in that situation.
It's all because of him, you know, being in this spot. So I'm really thankful for Mr. H and the Hendrick
Absolute passenger.
Automotive Group, along with Spire Motorsports and Chevy, because the only reason I got a ride this year.
Anyway.
I feel pretty bad about the backstretch there. Corey was doing a great job pushing, and you hate to.
I think that was the right clip. Here we go. If it was not the right clip, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that was the right clip. Anyway. Let's get back to the qualifying action. Which is probably going to be less cars flipping, I would say. You know? Are our drivers on a lap here? They are. Oh, Leclerc's gone purple. Behrman's not. Behrman's not even gone green. Good to see. Behrman's still improving. You know. Oh my god. Leclerc's gone purple. Behrman's gone yellow. Leclerc crosses the line now. Does improve. I'm going to tell Leclerc now to absolutely back off. To try and give Behrman the toe here.
Good job, John.
Copy.
Keep pushing.
Copy.
Behrman's gone green in the middle sector. This is the toe that he needs now. This is the toe that he needs.
Caution on the battery.
No, fuck off. Oh, Behrman just run out of fuel at the line. God damn it. How were his sectors? He was around a 10th up. Unbelievable. Anyway. Chair yet again is on pole. Well, not on pole. In P2, and is here again to be your nemesis. Meanwhile, Behrman is down in P7, which seems to be his home. Anyway, so soft medium here is not doable. Let me just have a look here real quick. It is not doable. As you can see, there's a gap either side there, so it's not doable. So what we're gonna go for, chat, is going to be a hard medium. With the right set of hards on that are completely fresh here. Lap 35. Says the soft hard will be a second quicker, but I don't believe so. And yep, just hard medium. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'll go for the opposite strategy with Behrman. We'll go medium, hard with Behrman. I feel like Behrman struggles at the start of races, but then has good pace towards the end. So we need to give him that additional help with the medium hard. Both our drivers are pushing here off the start. Yep.
Here in Imola, the drivers are ready to take on the 63 laps of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I suspect that we'll all be closely following Charles Leclerc in this one.
They're on pole, and it's well deserved. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
But remember,
Right, chat, let's get ready here.
in anticipation of this,
5 red lights, and it looks like we're the only driver starting on the hards here.
and it's lights out, and away we go.
And Leclerc gets a great start. Iwasa's actually got a much better start here than Pourchaire. Pourchaire's been swallowed up by both Alpines, which is great to see. Now, Alpine are not a threat to us in the championship here, so honestly, both Alpines ahead of Pourchaire. That's perfect. Piastri now coming through. Meanwhile, Behrman just needs to hold on to position. Iwasa now round the outside. And he's not got it. But Leclerc now just needs to stay with Iwasa.
Yeah, stay cool. As you are now, stay top.
No pause. We need to deploy out of the final corner just to make sure that we keep the pace up.
Press and hold the overtake.
Because Iwasa is on the softs, so he may be difficult to stay with. Meanwhile, Behrman just needs to make sure that he stays with the train ahead. Meanwhile, Mick could be dropped out of this battle pretty quickly here. And Behrman is not that far behind, so I think we've had a good start here. Behrman's not lost any positions, which is normally what he struggles with. Meanwhile, Leclerc staying with Iwasa. I've forgotten actually, he needs to push an additional lap here, and so will Behrman, because the DRS does not start until next lap, because the detection point is in the final corner. And Behrman now just needs to hold on to the DRS. Meanwhile, Leclerc can harvest down the main straight, as he'll have the DRS off Iwasa to harvest that battery. And then back to neutral he goes.
Increase lift off as well, please.
We're doing okay here, we're doing okay. Back on harvest goes Leclerc. Behrman needs to use some of those mediums just to get closer to Lawson. Also, he could drop Behrman out of this fight. Meanwhile, Leclerc needs to be using some more of that battery. Can't. It's not going to rain Vanguard, no. This is just a medium hard / hard medium. Leclerc going for the hard mediums. Behrman, who normally struggles at the start of races, going for the medium hards. So this should help Behrman early on, and then normally he has decent pace at the end, so hopefully he'll be able to keep up that pace on those hard tires. Meanwhile, if Leclerc just stays with Iwasa here, he'll naturally have better pace in the whole field because he'll be on the fresher mediums at a stage later in this race. Meanwhile, Behrman could see the door from Lawson open here soon. Lawson though does have DRS, and Leclerc now looking for a move on Iwasa soon. Iwasa on these softs struggling already. Meanwhile, Leclerc now looking for a move on Iwasa. Round the outside, is he going to go? He does send it into the lead of the race, but Iwasa defends on those soft tyres, and Leclerc continuing to put the pressure on the Alpine driver. There is Mick behind that we're keeping an eye on. We're going to go harvest out of the final corner because we will have the DRS to help us protect this position. I think we're going to top up because I think we're safe throughout the lap from getting overtaken by Mick. And we don't want to deploy. Maybe with Behrman now. We'll see, can he get by? Meanwhile, Leclerc's going to get into the lead of the race ahead of Iwasa. You can see Iwasa not doing too sweet on those soft tyres. Leclerc on lap 10 already in the lead on these hards. Iwasa still does have pace in the softs, but would have not wanted to have lose the position so early on in this race. Meanwhile, Iwasa on the inside. I mean, he will get the position, but not to worry, because we'd only be worried if we were about to get a double overtake on us. Meanwhile, Lawson now potentially going to lose out to Ollie Behrman, and Ollie Behrman is going to absolutely send it here to make sure he clears the Haas driver. Meanwhile, both Alfa Romeos 4 and 5 at the moment, and Behrman just has no balls. They don't exist. Wow. At no point did he want to overtake the whole fucking straight. Unbelievable. Behrman now had to make the move stick, and now he has to use the pace that he has to escape from Lawson and catch the pack ahead. Meanwhile, Leclerc going to lose out here. I'll tell him to harvest just to let Iwasa through. Meanwhile, Behrman now is into this fight for the podium. Behrman gets the fastest lap and has put pressure on Piastri here. Meanwhile, Iwasa's tyres are not looking too kind at this stage. Don't think we're gonna use them just yet.
It's just to confirm it's thermal dig.
But Behrman here is doing brilliantly at this stage. Behrman's showing very good pace on these mediums, and hasn't been using them too much. So a lovely race so far from Ollie Behrman. Meanwhile, Iwasa seems to be struggling a little bit behind Leclerc. I think what we're going to do with Leclerc now is just tell him to peace out, because Iwasa now 45% on those soft tyres. Got to take advantage of that.
Recharge up.
And Leclerc now comfortably into the lead. What tyres is Iwasa on? Iwasa's on 42% softs. Piastri's on 39% softs. Meanwhile, Mick is on 52% mediums. Porcher's on 52% mediums, along with Behrman and Lawson. But Lawson's dropped back from this pack, so it's really between Mick, Piastri and Behrman on the mediums, and Leclerc on the softs here. think I'm going to tell Ollie now to catch up to the rear of Piastri. Iwasa's now fallen off the rear of Mick, and Porcher now may get him around the outside. He does search it or send it around the outside.
Where possible.
Who is the DRS is the question. Porcher will have the traction, but does he have the DRS as well? He does. Iwasa's going to lose out here to Porcher. Meanwhile, Behrman on the inside of Piastri. Why have you backed out? Why have you backed out? And then he sends it! What a send! He backed out and then he just randomly sent it. Caught Piastri napping and he caught me napping. I wasn't expecting him to send it there. Wow, what a send there from Ollie Behrman. And Behrman now really showing his pace on these medium tyres. Meanwhile, Iwasa now, I think he's still outside the DRS of the cars ahead. And Behrman's going to be planting the
We are not fuel limited.
throttle here to the final corner. Does Iwasa have DRS? Iwasa does not have DRS. Behrman in behind. Can he go for the move now on the outside? He is going for the move, and it's a lovely move now. Ollie Behrman now into P4. Absolutely beautiful from the Ferrari driver, the Ferrari rookie that is as well. And Ollie doing perfect on his stint. Meanwhile, he does have to use some pace here just to stay with the drivers ahead. Mick and Porcher seeming relatively quick here. Meanwhile, Leclerc is clean sailing. He's got a 5-second lead. Despite being on the hard tyres, so he'll be able to overcut even potentially. And even if he isn't able to, he will have the quicker mediums at the end that will surely benefit him. Meanwhile, Ollie now going to be coming off the mediums soon, but not too soon. He wants to use as much mediums as he can before he switches to the hards here. And if he can stay inside the DRS, that'll be a big help here to Ollie's chances. And the podium could be on for Ollie Behrman. We did have the soft runners of Iwasa and co switch on to the hard tyres to the end. And I think Ollie now is going to go in next lap regardless of what the other drivers are doing. So we're just going to push now and recharge our battery while we do with Behrman. And see where we come out. We're going to undercut the drivers ahead, hopefully. They stayed out. Meanwhile, Lawson coming in. Is Lawson going to hold us up? He is. That's a bit annoying. Lawson held us up there. That is not going to be too fun yet. Leclerc has such good pace this season. Realistically, Leclerc is in a great position here. Meanwhile, Ollie Behrman is going to exit now behind Iwasa on slightly better tyres, and now Behrman has to head down the road after Iwasa. He's not too far behind here while he heats up those hard tyres. Gonna tell him to plant the throttle down the straight. Meanwhile, Porcher exits ahead of Behrman. Yeah, I was thinking Lawson holding us up there did not help. Meanwhile,
Just look after this tyre set then. Look after it.
I reckon Ollie now has to get through on Porcher to try and catch Iwasa here. Just send it at him. Just do it. Or not. Yellow flag out. And if there is a safety car, it'll benefit Leclerc because he'll just Immediately switch
At this stage.
to the right tyre.
Go take some points on Leclerc, please.
Meanwhile, Mick, Sonoda, Norris all coming in for the hard tyres. And Behrman now on the inside of Pourchaire. Side by side they go. Can Behrman get ahead here? He is going to get ahead here. Will he keep it ahead of Pourchaire? He does. Lovely move from Ollie Behrman in what has been one of his best races in the Scarlet Red Ferrari. And now he just needs to head down the road and catch Ayuma Awasa. Meanwhile, Leclerc just has to do a couple more laps on those hard tyres. Meanwhile, Behrman trying to catch Awasa, but Awasa has such good pace here. Does Behrman have enough in the tank to catch him? He's so marginal. We are dumping everything to try and catch Awasa here to get inside the DRS. Have we managed it? Just about managed it with Behrman here, and it's going to help massively to be finally inside the DRS. And now that we're here, we can harvest. And I'm just going to tell Leclerc to box now on the mediums. We want to have him so he's not really having a headache with these other drivers. But we'll see where Leclerc exits. It's a good stop. Is he going to exit though in front of this battle, this train? He is not going to. He is behind the train, but he is on the medium tyres. Meanwhile, there's an 11-second gap to Piastri, so they're thoroughly out of that fight. Meanwhile, Behrman now just needs to harvest this ERS. Meanwhile, Leclerc looking for a move on Pourchaire. Is he going to send it? He has a little look on the inside of Pourchaire. Pourchaire trying to defend here. Can Leclerc get the move? Pourchaire trying to keep it ahead, but Leclerc now coming through on a charge.
Can confirm. Leave off.
Oh, I thought for a second there Leclerc was going to send it. Meanwhile, Ollie Behrman looking to send it round the outside of Awasa here. And we're not going to wait around here. We're going to both try and get Awasa down the straight if we can. Meanwhile, Behrman chooses the outside. Leclerc wants the inside here. Behrman's going to get into the lead. But can Leclerc now find a way through on Awasa? He does send it through. Does Leclerc. And we're now looking to pace off into the distance now.
You're doing well.
And with Behrman, we're just going to tell him to hold up, basically, and let Leclerc through if we can.
Recharge on, please.
And now that we're in the lead here, 2 seconds up the road we are.
Start button on.
Are we maintaining good pace while doing this? I believe so. Still maintaining a 2-second gap to the cars behind while we manage here. I'm going to tell Behrman to not fight his teammate, to just stick on in behind here. I do not want ERS battle assist. I never want ERS battle assist. The game should know that by now.
Good to push up.
Charge off.
You can push.
But no.
Out to those tyres.
Copy.
I think we can keep them on balance now. But we're slowly building the gap to the cars behind. And this could be a 1-2 here for Ferrari. As we stand.
Just manage the tyres.
Copy.
Okay, recharge off.
Copy.
Some driver has ran wide. I wonder, is it a Wassa or someone, or who is it?
Here we've got the Aston Martin.
Someone unimportant.
Recharge off.
Yeah, copy.
But yeah, Vanguard, it seems relatively comfortable. Logie Sarge doing well here, P6. Lawson, Piastri's actually kind of struggling. He's got cars behind on better tyres. Lawson and Maloney doing well here. Alpine with a great result. Has Montoya scored points this season? Let's see here. I don't believe so. Actually, he may have. Yeah, he has. He's got 10 points. Montoya has scored points this season. Meanwhile, I feel like
Let's get the deck down on this.
Copy.
Leclerc has helped Behrman all he can. I think we're going to allow Leclerc now just to send it off into the distance. We'll just have more pace than Behrman. And Behrman now just needs to not lose out to Pourchaire. But that gap is closing rapidly. You hear kind of lurking when you multitask.
Yuki Tsunoda. And wide they go, leaving the racing line.
What are you also doing? Or because I like to multitask while I play stuff like F1 Manager as well. Normally in my own time, although I don't really be playing F1 Manager in my own time. But when I'm like playing FM, I'll be doing other things. Meanwhile, Leclerc is out for a Sunday drive. I think we're just going to tell him to conserve his tyres, to be honest, so they can push for the fastest lap. Meanwhile, Behrman does have to keep an eye on the gap, which is falling. If Mick can put Pourchaire under enough pressure, it can help us keep ahead in P2 here. Yeah, Behrman is losing a lot of time here. But as they continue to battle, it may help, but now it's like... it's now 1.4, and they're almost inside the DRS. Ugh. I think it's inevitable that they will be inside the DRS here. And Mick now comfortably inside the DRS, and I feel like we just have to concede that we're going to have to win this. Well, not even win this, but get the P2. Lay it on here, battling with Mick Schumacher. Yeah, Charles is absolutely dominating Sean very comfortably. Meanwhile, Behrman could get the Ferrari 1-2 here. Charles actually had helped Behrman stay with him, but I believed it was kind of just getting ridiculous. So I just let Leclerc go, but maybe in hindsight I probably shouldn't have. Meanwhile, Berman now just looking to defend that P2. Yeah, I know Leclerc's tire temps are down, but he's conserving his tires, that's why. One lap of pushing will change that easily, Vanguard. Yeah, massive race for Alpine here, potentially a podium and a P5. Big result for Alpine. Come on, Ollie. I'm going to tell Ollie to try and stay ahead here because Ollie, don't absolutely trust him to get late moves done. If it were Verstappen, I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to wait to the fastest or the last lap to get the move done, whereas with Ollie, No!
Now we should be able to take a look here. And it was Mick Schumacher involved. And you can see how tight it is. And oh, that's obviously far from intentional, but there was contact.
And just like that, chat, Pourchaire immediately into P2.
Jostling for position. And there, the cars
Pourchaire just gets straight through into P2, our championship rival. Gets gifted it. Meanwhile, with Mech now, we got to just make sure we get into the DRS here, which we don't have for some reason. I don't know why we're not in the DRS of Mech ahead, but now we're just going to stay with Mech and hope he gets a pan. Meanwhile, Leclerc and Martel to push to get those tire temps up, but Behrman's relatively screwed now. Tires are fucked because of that incident.
Straight into management. 3 laps to go.
3 laps to go. 3 laps to go.
Big chance.
There's a yellow flag out. I'm hoping it is a penalty, Vanguard here. Meanwhile, Norris.
Tries to get by. And the
Contact with the Haas. You have to agree with Sean there. There's sometimes the FA makes just absolutely questionable decisions. I think we have to get Mick this lap, chat. We just can't wait around. We just absolutely have to send it. We can't wait around with him. Meanwhile, Leclerc is going to start
2 laps to go.
the penultimate lap here. Come on, Behrman.
Straight to lift off.
Has to kind of send it everywhere.
Less of a lift. Double the lift off for the moment.
Less lift off. Copy.
Yeah, Awas is not far behind, but it is the final lap we're heading on to now.
Reduce lift off where possible.
And could Behrman get the DRS in the final corner here? Does he want to send it? He does want to send it, and he will have the DRS detection point as well. This could be a lovely move from Behrman for the podium. Mick may have more straight line speed, but Behrman has the DRS. They're gonna go. It's a drag race. Behrman's gonna get it here. And Behrman now into P3 gets the move done, and rightfully so. Deserves the P3.
No risk.
Copy.
Meanwhile, Awasa joining this battle as well here. He wants points.
So just recharge off whenever you need it.
Yeah, Piastri being so far off is not great, but Pourchaire somehow locks his way into another P2. We're going to deploy now with Behrman to just keep it ahead. Make sure that Mick does not overtake us here. Meanwhile, Leclerc coming up to the line. He's going to cross the line comfortably ahead. Gets the fastest lap for good measure. And Leclerc gets maximum points here in Imola. And a lovely result for the Italians. Meanwhile, Behrman now round the final corner. Mick's looking a bit too close for my liking. But Behrman does get it. Behrman gets P3. Sean, it should be 6 out of 6. We're not going to talk about the one that he missed. Anyway, moving swiftly onward. Behrman, despite having contact with Mick Schumacher there, and Mick actually missing a front right end plate. But Behrman getting the rightful podium he deserved. He deserved at least a P3 there. And disappointing that it's our championship rival Pourchaire who has got into the into the P2. Vanguard, let's just not talk about it, okay? Let's just not talk about it. If we just forget about it, then it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. As far as Ferrari are concerned, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling after that race?
I doubt they could be win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the week.
And what's worse is about that, Sean, is that you've got a good fucking memory as well, so you will bloody remember it. Anyway, Doohan down 12 positions, wonderful race from Doohan, but Leclerc gets maximum points here in Imola. Pourchaire gets a P2 somehow, and Behrman does get his rightful podium. Schumacher did not deserve the podium after that crash, which the FA decided to not punish, even though it was completely Schumacher's fault. But Behrman now moves up to P3 in the championship. We extend our lead in the championship. And Pourchaire, though, is still there. Pourchaire is still there. We do not want Pourchaire to be there. Meanwhile, we still lead the pit stop competition, where, if you'll remember, chat, the pit stop competition is where everything, it all matters. That's what it all comes down to, is how quick are you in the pit stops. Meanwhile, now we're going to head into Monaco next time out here. We need a no suspension for a Leclerc. We do have manufacturing in progress. Is there anything here needs refurbed? Don't believe so. Yeah, Charles Home Grand Prix. And let's look at the history of the Monaco GP. Can we do that? It's not letting me click into the history of the Monaco Grand Prix. Here we go. Prehistoric race results. Yet Leclerc coming off back-to-back wins in Monaco, and you can see from last time out in Monaco we won by 16 seconds, our most dominant victory in Monaco, and hopefully we can recreate that today. But qualifying does play a major factor in the Monaco GP. He's going back to back to back. He's not even going back to back, but he's going for the 3-peat in Monaco, which will put him among the elites in Formula 1 history. After already getting his 4th championship, Charles now is heading for his 5th potentially, and I think that will put him among the elites. But anyway, continue. We will. And we're going to save now and head on in to the Monaco GP. Actually, before we do that, how many times has Max won the championship in the save? So Max overall would be a 5-time champion in the save, but he's won 0 with Ferrari. Meanwhile, Leclerc's won 4 with Ferrari. Leclerc won 1 in season 4, and then since season 7, so 7, 8, and 9, he did a 3-peat. The last driver doing a 3-peat in Monaco was Rosberg. See, Rosberg just built this, chat. Rosberg absolutely built this. But yeah, Leclerc off the back of a championship 3-peat could be doing a 4-peat. And if Leclerc wins the championship this season, he then equals Verstappen's championships in this save, so they would both be on 5 championships, which I think would be very interesting to bid, because for those of you who are new here and have not yet followed, if you do want to drop a follow, please do. But for those of you new here, Leclerc has announced that he is retiring, but he has 2 years left on his contract, so he has this year and the following year remaining. So we're like, we don't know if he's going to retire at the end of this season or at the end of the season following. Vanguard looked it up and thought it was the end of his contract, which we hope it is. That means we'll have 2 seasons out of Leclerc. It will mean Leclerc could get to 6 championships potentially, but it'll be funny because then he could have got 7 if he just had stayed around like another year, or maybe another 2, and then could have got 8, you know. But oh well, Leclerc doesn't want to be a GOAT apparently. He's like, I will take my 5 or 6 championships. But Pourchaire this season has been a formidable opponent. He's been a formidable opponent for quite some time now, and he doesn't seem to be going away, and Bahrain unfortunately could come back to haunt us with the double points in the final race, which is the worst rule ever created that has been added to our save. Anyway, Behrman now is going to lead Leclerc out for a tow, because it is Leclerc's home Grand Prix. So, you know, anyway. But by the time when Charles' time ends on the save, that's going to be a big period for us to find a new driver. Absolutely, Sean. The driver market is going to be interesting for when Charles leaves, because there's not going to be a... I don't think Max is going to be still around, and then you've lost Leclerc. So who is it going to be, chat? Get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to replace Leclerc? Honestly, in my mind, I think I know who it already is. But you let me know who you think is going to replace Leclerc. The rapid youngster Alonso, yes. Alonso could come in. I would love that if we could just sign Alonso at any time. I would love if Alonso just stays, like he never retires. He is always a free agent in F1 Manager. Yeah, he is already retired, but it'd be great if he was just like perpetually a free agent. You could always sign him if you wanted.
Confirm no threats. Push this lap.
There is a very good spot for traffic for now. Nobody.
Meanwhile, we're gonna come past the pit exit. Like, it would just, Vanguard, honestly, it'd be just like a fun aspect to have. I mean, it wouldn't be realistic, which a manager save kind of needs to be realistic. Yes, Sean, I think I know who I want the replacement to be, but I think I'm going to keep it a secret. Unless, if you can convince me otherwise of it being someone else, then it'll be someone else, but... otherwise, I think I know who the replacement's going to be. It's Logan, isn't it, Mick? Here's the thing, chat. Even if you guess it correctly, I'm not going to say yes. But absolutely yes, Vanguard, it's Logan. Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to say. I wasn't supposed to let you in. It's definitely Logan. I wasn't supposed to let the secret out. What am I doing? What am I doing? Meanwhile, Leclerc yet again goes 3/10 quicker than Behrman.
Dash negative. Okay, cool the tyres and we will box this lap. Box this lap.
Logan is an interesting choice. It'd be hilarious to see Logan in a Ferrari. Just does not belong there at all. Just not at all. I could not at all specify how little Logan suits the Ferrari. American driver in a Ferrari, yeah, Sean, it just does not. No. Whenever I say it does not know, you know, that's all I need to say. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm pretty sure we're through Q1. Although Behrman's shockingly low. Please be through. Please don't have me do this again. Thank God. Behrman got through somehow. Who's out here? Montoya, Ocon, Hadjar, Awasa, Doohan. Awasa after finishing P5. P19. Not amazing for Awasa. Ocon should leave Formula 1 at this stage. Just should leave. Ocon does not belong here. Anyway, now we're going to save, load into Q2 for our second runs here. Hopefully Ollie does a better lap that makes us more confident that he'll get into Q3, because qualifying is so massive around here. If Ollie has a bad qualifying here, it's going to be his basically whole weekend ruined. Meanwhile, Leclerc, we want to make sure he gets the win here, so he needs pole to help him on his way. Meanwhile, Versure kind of blocked our lap. Keep an eye here. Yeah, Behrman went substantially slower. I just realized, like, Leclerc's right up Behrman's shuff here. Be too close.
Can go. Line is clear. Can go.
I'm gonna just tell Leclerc to back out. He's too close. He is just putting off Behrman at this stage by being that close. Meanwhile, Behrman does improve. Still 3/10 off Leclerc, mind.
Oh, recharge.
Copy.
Meanwhile, we will switch on to fresh softs here, because we won't be really using many softs in the race, I don't think. So I do believe we will be using fresh softs at the end of Q2 here. So far, solid season for Ollie in his rookie seasons. You know what? You're right there, Sean. It is his rookie year, and he's P3 in the championship, so we will cut him some slack. It was maybe a slow start, but anyway. Now going to head out with Ollie, followed by Leclerc.
So pick up the pace. Pick up the pace.
Copy. We can push a bit more.
You can push a bit more. You can push a bit more. I feel like if we don't go green in the first sector, I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna restart this lap. Our drivers were too bunched there, and then they couldn't get their tires in the right temp, so helped Ferrari get a 1-2 in his rookie season. That's pretty impressive. Ocon needs to be gone. Yeah, Ocon does need to be gone. But we want to exit the box without getting, like, held up. You know, I think Behrman's got a good gap. Leclerc's got a good gap here. We're going to go on board with Behrman and on board with Leclerc as well. Keep an eye on their timings. I would rather have Max on the grid than Ocon. Everyone would, Sean. There's not a single soul on earth that wants Ocon on the grid ahead of Max. Even the people who hate Max still don't like Ocon enough to want him on the grid more. Meanwhile, Behrman, green in the first sector is what he needs. Leclerc, green in the first sector as well. And Behrman now, can he get green in the middle sector as well? We just need an improvement to get us into Q3. Green again. Leclerc has also gone green here. Leclerc 3/10 off pole at this stage. So hopefully Leclerc can give us a lap that indicates that he can get pole here, because we don't want to be starting behind the McLarens this far back. Behrman now coming up to the line. This is going to be big. Will he get into Q3? He's scraping it. He's scraping it. Leclerc gets up to P2, 600ths off. Norris now could put Behrman out. Behrman in the drop zone. But is Norris even pushing here? Doesn't look like it. Norris not pushing. And Behrman scrapes his way into Q3. But, yep, that's going to be us now into Q3. We're going to do 2 runs. I believe you told me that Ocon won a championship in one season. You said he won Vanguard. He was the most recent winner since Leclerc. So Leclerc's had a 3-peat, and then Ocon won in season 6. We're now in season 10. Leclerc won season 7, 8, 9. So Ocon used to be a champion. He used to be a champion with McLaren, and now with Mercedes he's just dirt. Absolute dirt. Anyway, chat, out on the fresh softs, we're gonna go here. We need a decent gap between Leclerc and Behrman, and they have it, and they're also not getting blocked here by Zhou. So we're hoping for some what happened season 6 was the Ferrari car bad. Kinda. It's not amazing. I feel like we've never been that far off the win, but there's been other teams that have been quicker. Now the fact that Leclerc does not have purple worries me, because it means, oh, Maloney's got purple. There was a season where we did violate the cost cap. Behrman gone purple in the first. Leclerc's surely going to rob him of it, which he does. But does Maloney rob it? No, Piastri robs the purple middle sector. Does Maloney rob Piastri of the purple middle sector? He does not. Let's keep an eye now. Comes across the line. Ollie Behrman does an 8-9. Leclerc does an 8-6. Both the laps aren't good enough. Piastri with an 8-5. Maloney now, where's he going to go? Maloney going to come up to the line now. And it is going to be an 8-7? 8-8. Maloney with a surprising fall off despite his very good lap there in Q2, and had purple first sector. Meanwhile, I think we're going to leave 1 run here for both their drivers. Pourchaire currently on pole, which is not a great omen at the moment. Leclerc needs an improvement, and he needs to find it somewhere if he wants to win here. And we're going to leave it late again before heading out. And again, O'Sullivan. I only realised, look, O'Sullivan's now in Q3, but he's also followed Leclerc out of the box, like, both times. What is this Red Bull doing? Russell, is he starting a lap? Yeah, Russell looks like he's starting a lap. So this will be the final runs now, chat. in qualifying. Can we snatch pole from the Alfa Romeos? The Alfa Romeos here haven't gone quicker. As Piastri comes in, Pourchaire coming round. Yellow, yellow. Behrman goes yellow, Leclerc goes green. Pourchaire gonna come up to the line now. Don't believe he improved yet. No improvement. Meanwhile, Leclerc on a green first sector. Currently P4. Needs some more time out of the lap to gain any positions here. Meanwhile, Behrman P8 needs some positions here. And Behrman has got that green middle sector. Leclerc's got the purple middle sector. Will Leclerc have enough in the tank to get pole here in his home Grand Prix to potentially open the door to a three-peat here in Monaco? Behrman's going to come up to the line. Leclerc's going to come up to the line. Where will Behrman go? Where will Leclerc go? Leclerc up to P2. Half a tenth behind Pourchaire. And Behrman does not improve. P8 for Behrman, but Leclerc half a tenth off pole. And it isn't the worst place to be starting in the race. But we would have liked it to be pole. Meanwhile, Behrman actually falls down to P9. Eesh. Behrman really needs to improve his pace. And yeah. Anyway, we're going to go for the hard medium here, chat. I think, honestly, yeah, I think we're going to go same strategy as Imola, chat. Leclerc can go long on the hards. Meanwhile, I feel like Behrman needs to undercut to get his positions. Isn't the best at overtaking, so this is going to royally suck for Ollie Behrman. Meanwhile, Leclerc is decent at overtaking. Behrman is not. So, yeah, Solov in P7 with AlphaTauri. I don't think Solov has any points this season, so if Solov can convert, that'll be a good result here.
Just what Charles Leclerc can achieve here.
A second place start for them today. They'll be aiming for a podium, but could they even sneak the win?
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? We're here and the streets are
As we're going to start now. 5 red lights on, and they're out. Can we get away well here? Leclerc now round the outside of Pourchaire into turn 1. Behrman's already lost out, but we're more worried about the battle for the lead now, as Leclerc on the inside of Casino, which turns into the outside of the next corner, still side by side with the Alfa Romeo as they head down the hill. Leclerc battling here for position, and into the hairpin he goes. An audacious send, and Leclerc's pulled it off. What a send there from Leclerc into the lead of his home Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Behrman now potentially losing out to O'Sullivan. Just about keeps it ahead down the hill. Meanwhile, a lot of drivers on the hards here. Zhou on the softs, Sonoda on the mediums, but the majority of the drivers here on the hard tyres. So, great move there from Charles. A bold send down the hill. Meanwhile, Leclerc is going to lead us away. On now to lap 3. Leclerc continues to lead ahead of Pourchaire.
Head down and push.
And Leclerc now firmly into the lead with the DRS now enabled, so less of a worry at this stage. Meanwhile, Behrman kind of does need to clear Solov if he can, because Solov's just going to hold him up on these hards. Meanwhile, Pourchaire does get into the lead. Behrman cannot get Solov, but Leclerc now just needs to stick with Pourchaire, as Pourchaire's trying to disappear, but we're not going to let that happen. We're just not going to let that happen. I'm going to tell Leclerc that he can overtake if the overtake is available. Meanwhile, Solov is hanging back from the pack ahead. And if the door opens for Berman, he needs to get Solov here. And he is going to get him despite Solov having the DRS. Berman now on the inside, but Solov breaks very late. On the outside, there's contact. And that's a red flag. Okay, chat. Okay. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Ooh. Oh wow. Let us come up with a new strategy, chat. So, the new strategy could be we swap onto the hards here and then go to the softs. Or what is quicker? Do we have any more mediums here to present? What are we thinking, chat, on strategy? I feel like Leclerc go on to new mediums then softs. Could Leclerc pull off a medium soft? Let's see here. You could be onto something, Vanguard, if Leclerc can pull this off. Oh, it's a bit of a stretch, Vanguard, I must say. Rather than, let's say, just staying on the hard medium, I don't know. The thing is about Berman started on the medium, so he can't do medium soft, whereas Leclerc, I kind of just want to keep him on the hards, if I'm honest. I kind of just want to keep Leclerc on the hards, to be honest. See, this is misleading, Vanguard. The hard medium is 15 seconds quicker, but it does not include the lack of pit stop, you know? So it says the hard medium is 15 seconds quicker, but under red flag it does not, you know. I feel like Berman's definitely a hard soft from here. But is Leclerc a hard medium? Or is he a medium soft? I think Leclerc only has one set of mediums, yeah. If this would be a medium, absolutely, Sean, if he did. But see, the medium soft is going to be a stretch. Because if he's under any pressure at all, then it's going to be rip. I feel like with Leclerc, we're just going to keep the... What do we think, chat? A or B? I'm gonna let you help out with this. For Leclerc. Let us figure this out. Oh, right, come on. Stratgay. Yep, that's how you spell it. I've forgotten how to spell strategy. Shut up. Come on, press B, please. Start pole, sure. But let me know what we should go for Leclerc. Should we go hard medium still, so they're used hards onto the mediums, or should it be medium soft with Leclerc? Meanwhile, Behrman is definitely doing a hard soft for me, or maybe even a hard medium. Maybe go back onto the used mediums, but we'll judge when we get there. But for me, Leclerc is between A or B. And let me know what you think. I don't know what to go for, to be honest. Because I feel like if we stay out in the hards, we could get swallowed up. I feel like if we go out in the mediums, we can get swallowed up. Just feel like we could get swallowed up, you know? Anyway, the strategy poll will be up now and we had one vote for A. So it will be A. That is going to be our strategies chat. Both drivers onto the hards. I would like to save, please. Can I save? I would just like to save. That'd be great.
Red flag.
But Behrman did have contact with Solov there, brought out the red flag.
So here we go.
And Solov there just didn't want to back out.
And there's the contact.
And there was no real contact with Behrman there. That was just Solov. Solov did not want to back out, to be honest. But Leclerc now is going to stay on the hards. Meanwhile, Behrman's going to switch to the hards. And yeah, I wonder who did go for that vote, Vanguard. I couldn't tell you. Meanwhile, Leclerc hopefully can get a good restart. If we lose out to Russell, it would not be preferable.
As the race restarts. And it's lights out. And away we go.
And let us absolutely send it here. Behrman's already sending it, so that's good. Meanwhile, Leclerc does get a decent start. Does not lose position to Russell. Maybe does. Russell's there on fresh mediums. Behrman now P80 goes ahead of O'Sullivan. I think Joe's jumped up a couple places under this restart, which is good from him. Meanwhile, Leclerc now has lost this position, so under the red flag he's going to need to stay with Pourchaire. We don't want to pit now, please. Meanwhile,
So cool the tyres.
the Behrman trying to catch Maloney.
So measured race pace now.
Measured race pace. Behrman now got to close up to Maloney. As Leclerc also got to close up to Pourchaire.
Press and hold the overtake.
And the DRS is now enabled, so Leclerc now can harvest the battery.
Yeah, copy.
Meanwhile, Behrman now just needs to close up to the back of Maloney, catch him, overtake him, preferably. That'd be great.
Back it out. Back it out.
Back it out, back it in. Let me begin.
Okay, so it's closing up a little bit.
And Maloney now still within DRS, so not going to be a sendable moment.
Just manage the pace.
Yeah, copy that.
Drivers that were biggest memes in the save now, Ocon and Hadjar. Hadjar's literally just there to block us. Sean, he is there for no other reason. He is there to block us and nothing else. He doesn't even try and get in the points. He just tries to block us.
Charge button on.
I wonder... Yep, Maloney still has DRS though. So the move's not completely on here.
Charge button on. Copy.
Can Behrman now catch Maloney. I mean, Maloney's dropping back now, but Behrman's dropping back from Maloney as well, which kind of needs to overtake Maloney in the first place. But now there should be the gap. Maloney struggling on these older hards. Can Behrman now get through on the McLaren into turn 1? We've seen Behrman and Solov bring out the red flag, but this time Maloney concedes the position. And Behrman now just needs to head down the road, catch up to the pack ahead, which he has successfully done. And then into Arvest, Just going to be tough to do around here, surprisingly.
Don't destroy the tyres too quickly.
Charge button on.
Copy. Recharge on.
Yeah, copy.
And I thought Behrman would gain loads of time by himself, but he didn't. And Leclerc's also not gained loads of time by himself. Hilarious, right? Both our drivers just started sucking in this mid-stint. Great.
Caution on the back 3.
Yeah, copy. Charge button on.
Copy. Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Meanwhile, Behrman really struggling here. Behrman can get close to the cars ahead, but his ERS is an issue.
Charge off.
Copy that.
Oh, come on, Leclerc, man.
Let's lift off.
Copy that.
Meanwhile, Behrman is struggling.
Keep on top of the tyres.
Copy.
I think I'm going to save this chat. I feel myself getting a little bit hot, so I'm scared of the PlayStation crashing. We're going to save this throughout. In the event the PlayStation crashes, we do not want a repeat of that. If Theo changes tyres under the red flag, there is a screen we can check. Lap, tyre history. No, Porcher stayed out. Maloney and O'Sullivan stayed out. Couple tyre differences here. And Behrman now trying to stay with Joel.
Increase lift off as well, please.
Increase Lyco. Increase Lyco.
Just keep it sensible on the tyres.
Copy. You can catch him.
You can catch him. You can catch him.
Go and take some points on Leclerc, please.
Look after tires.
Yeah, copy.
Alright. Behrman doing a little better on tyres now, but is still burning through them at a decent rate.
Copy.
There is an option for Behrman to go back onto the mediums that he started on.
Copy.
And we'll set up that option for Behrman. He can go back onto these used mediums. Probably that early, which is 10 seconds slower than just going onto the softs. So we're just going to go onto the softs. Really no point doing that strategy if it's 10 seconds slower. And I would like to push here with Behrman, but he's barely keeping with Joe. Still needs to manage this ERS.
Slow down.
AlphaTauri fans, they just want anyone, Sean, they want anyone in for Billy Hadjar. He is a waste of space at this point. Why does he have a seat on this grid? Who knows?
Let's try to get the deck down on this.
Copy. Single tire management.
And go tire management. Now, chat, as you can see, Russell's gone medium soft potentially here. Because he boxed for the mediums. Meanwhile, we've stayed out on our old hards, and yet our old hards are gapping the rest of the field here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, chat? Now really close up behind Guan Yu Zhou. We are losing time, guys. We are losing time, guys.
Head down. Try your best.
Try your best. Try your best. Now I would like to push with Behrman to overtake, but he's like 8/10 back, so he's just not even anywhere near overtaking Zhou, even though Zhou is struggling on those softs.
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back under control for the moment.
They could sign this young up-and-coming smart driver called Fernando Alonso when he's still frigid. That's problem. Bring back Supermax. Imagine Supermax joined AlphaTauri. Love it. Would love it. It'd be hilarious. He would be so ridiculously OP still in the bloody AlphaTauri. Leclerc and Pourchaire battling here. Meanwhile, Behrman following back from Zhou. Zhou now using his pace to get inside the DRS of the car ahead. And Behrman struggling now to do that. Meanwhile, Zhou's got ahead of Piastri. Piastri really struggling now, he must be. Meanwhile, once again, Leclerc having to push to get inside the DRS of the car ahead.
Just manage the tyres.
But Behrman now could see Piastri as a victim. As Behrman into turn 1 isn't going to go for the move. So I think we're going to have to stay back because Behrman does have a lot left of this stint. Thoughts on which team has the best and worst livery? Ferrari, just again, another beautiful livery. I feel like the 2023 car was a step down from the 2022 car, but then the 2024 car was a step back up again for Ferrari. Mercedes I like, but I would say like their 2021 livery is better still. You know what I mean? Like, all black is better than silver and black, unfortunately. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't hit with me, I suppose, you know? I would like to push for Behrman here, but he does need to manage these tyres. He really does. Really, really does. Meanwhile, Leclerc's not far off the end of his stint. Behrman kind of just needs to stay. He just needs to manage now. He really needs to manage because he needs to make the softs work. I do like their livery for this year, but their 2020 and 2021 livery were good too. Yeah, Mercedes have a good livery. Aston Martin again. Honestly, I kind of hope Aston Martin just stay the same permanently because Aston Martin is such a classy brand with a classy green, and I just think they should keep it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Aston Martin again, lovely, beautiful livery. Steak F1 by far have the worst livery with their My Team shitty created livery. I think I could have made a better livery in fucking Photoshop, and I don't know how to use Photoshop. So, that just shows you how bad the Stake F1 livery was. Meanwhile, what other liveries would be good? The Toro Rosso livery I like. The only thing missing is that they're called Toro Rosso. Just name yourself Toro Rosso and we're good. Just change your name to Toro Rosso, that's all we need. Just, if Toro Rosso changed their name to Toro Rosso, that'd be perfect. You know what I mean? It's all they're missing is the Toro Rosso label. Meanwhile, Red Bull. Again, I think Red Bull just need to keep the same livery permanently. Like, it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes you find a sweet spot and it's good. Meanwhile, what car do I not like? I also don't like the Haas or Alpine. They're just shit, really. They're just shit. They're just fucking boring and shit. Just really shit. Like, it's very simple. Williams, I don't even really remember. Williams was just same old, same old. They got the Duracell battery, which we know and love. If they remove the Duracell battery, we no longer love them. You know, so then Williams know as long as they keep the Duracell battery, they're loved. So smart on their part. They know they need the Duracell battery. Otherwise, we riot at dawn. Meanwhile, Leclerc gonna send it on Pourchaire. Yeah, without Duracell, honestly, there'd be more words said, but the Duracell really makes it. You know what I mean? And that is not a joke. That is honestly not a joke. The Duracell makes that fucking car. Now, Pourchaire has come in for the undercut, but we've still a couple of laps to use these hards, which I will continue to use them. Big lift off now. Big lift off now. My Bearman now, I'm just going to absolutely hold up Pourchaire through the final section, because Bearman still needs to do a couple laps before he heads onto these softs. Let's try and go on the softs a little bit earlier with Bearman here. How early can we go on the softs, and how quick is that as well? Alright, we can go on the softs a little bit earlier. The undercuts are powerful. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to do.
Solid pace.
Where is Pourchaire exiting? Or is this Piastri? Oh no, Pourchaire exited, yes, ahead of Bearman. I see. Come on, Bearman. I actually told you to deploy. I actually told you to deploy.
Okay, recharge on.
Yeah, copy.
Certainly don't let any cars pass you.
Gonna be holding up Pourchaire here as Leclerc looks to overcut, and you can see how much time is being gained.
Recharge off when you're ready.
Leclerc's already gained 2 seconds now.
Recharge on, please.
Copy.
And that continues the climb now. You can see Zhou also in the battle for the lead. Bearman now round the final corner again. Gonna look to defend from Pourchaire. Pourchaire gonna look to find the position. on the Ferrari of Behrman. Sends it in. Can Behrman get ahead here with the ERS? Behrman does. Love it, love it, love it, love it. You gotta live, laugh, and love it, chat. You gotta live, laugh, and love it. This is slightly sacrificing Behrman's race, to be honest, but it is massively helping Leclerc.
Okay, recharge up. And let's go.
We're gonna tell Leclerc to come in this lap. We're gonna give Behrman one more lap of defending do.
Pit confirm and box.
Pit confirm on box. Pit confirm on box. And Behrman just needs one more dose of defending out of the final corner now.
Press and hold the overtake.
And didn't go for a move, so Behrman now
Recharge up.
just needs to keep recharging, really. And the gap was 19 seconds when Pourchaire exited the pit lane, and it is now 23. Hilarious. So Pourchaire or Leclerc could pull off this overcut. We will see. Let's see. We have told them to box on the mediums, yes.
Pit confirm and box.
Just double checking, yep. Very frustrating for Pourchaire. We're even going to let him through now. It doesn't really matter if he gets through down the hill because we're still harvesting with Behrman. And now that he has got through, we're just going to tell him to go neutral so that Behrman has DRS.
Just recharge off when you're ready.
Copy.
But Leclerc now going to exit.
All clear in exit.
Maybe comfortably in the lead, hopefully, ideally.
We are not fuel
As
limited.
Behrman now should have DRS. Leclerc going to exit
Copy.
in the lead. Pourchaire now has used over 10% of
We are boxing this lap.
yeah. Pourchaire's used over 10% of those medium tyres, and Leclerc has exited 4 seconds up the road on fresher mediums. So Leclerc is loving life. Welcome in, Rose Combs. How's things? Yes, it is 7 AM. We don't talk about it. How are things, Jamie? How are things? We've got Behrman finally coming in. Sean, you know Jamie. This is fun, lads. These are reconnecting. But Behrman now coming in, and I fear he may jump or fall down a bit here. Is Mick still battling? Behrman should exit P9 here on the softs. There's a gap ahead of Mick, but Behrman's going to need a lot of pushing to catch all these cars ahead. But Norris now on old hards, Maloney on old hards as well. So Behrman, just gets out ahead of O'Sullivan. Gonna need to keep ahead, please. Keep ahead, please. Keep ahead. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Dear Lord.
Recharge up.
Anyway, how's things, Jamie? How's XTC going? I believe it's called.
Can slow down.
Yeah, Behrman and O'Sullivan. Behrman just needs to get his tires warmed up, and he'll be sweet. Where's Maloney going to exit? Behrman thankfully ahead of Maloney, and he'll be ahead of Norris whenever he boxes. So P7 minimum for Behrman here at this stage. Yeah, Behrman has escaped O'Sullivan. Just now needs to ease off the battery a little bit.
Recharge on.
But Jamie, you haven't said how things are going. I need to know. I need to know how things are going. O'Sullivan potentially going to be... Yeah. O'Sullivan has yet to get points in the Aston Martin. So this would be big for the Aston Martin rookie. Your ERS is fully charged. Okay. With Ollie now, we can essentially just go to the end. Although there is a big gap to the cars ahead, he does have the better tyres, so hopefully that does something. Meanwhile, Leclerc still building that gap on Pourchaire. As the delta to Pourchaire is coming down. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm doing grand. There was the WR Tier 3 finale you missed out on, Jimmy, where like 6 people turned up. But it had been competitive up until that point, but once they knew only one driver, well, it was between 2 drivers. Yeah, everyone kind of give up. That's the issue I've seen with most esports. And really leagues, is that once they know they can't win the championship, the majority of people just give up. You know what I mean? Come on, Ollie, now get Norris. You're just losing time being behind him. And Ollie now into P7. We're just going to tell Ollie to chuck it on down the road. Also, Jimmy, if you've any like paid commentary rules that you know of that you're like, oh, I couldn't make that rule, that you're willing to recommend. You're like, oh, I couldn't make it because I'm busy that day. I'm your guy. Cause I'm looking for work. I do have some job interviews in the pipeline. I did a job interview yesterday that went all right. I have another job interview next Friday, and just hopefully they hire me and be like, you know what, you're so cool, we're just gonna give you like $1 million up front. Like, we're just like, you're so cool. You know what I mean? Isn't that how jobs work? Is like, if the interview goes well enough, they just offer you all of the money that they don't have. Still doing grand here. Not really a worry. I would like... Yes, Vanguard, you get it! Such a cool guy. 6 billion. We're gonna plunge our company into severe, unrecoverable debt that we will never ever escape. You have ruined families, but here's a couple bill. Easy peasy. Anyway, Ollie Behrman, I don't really know if I want to push with him just yet. I mean, he's making up good time, but how much time can he make up? He's 29 seconds behind Leclerc. He does have better tires than everyone, but if we push too hard, then they could be unusable by the end. He could, I think he should get Piastri here, and I think he could get Tsunoda. But we're gonna not push too hard with Behrman. We're gonna allow him just to creep up as time progresses on Oscar Piastri. And as the laps progress, I think we're gonna need to push now a bit more. There's only 10 laps remaining. We need to catch a rapido. Iwasa, the Alpines, who were fighting over the podium last time out, now fighting over P9 and 10. Meanwhile, yeah, Iwasa from P19 to 10 is pretty decent, especially around Monaco. O'Sullivan still P8 and comfortable P8, 5 seconds ahead of Mick. O'Sullivan's first points, and there'll be 4 points for O'Sullivan. Meanwhile, the Mercedes continue to be awful. Norris just forgot to box. Interesting. Very interesting. That Norris just forgot that he should probably box soon. Yeah, Iwasa has some wins in this save, Jamie. Especially last season, he had about 2 wins, I think. He had one in Japan and one somewhere else, I think. Berman now kind of has to absolutely send it. And coming up to the rear of Piastri. Switch to the inside. Berman gonna send it. No, he isn't. Too scared. Little man is too scared. And he doesn't have a lot of tyre to use here. Or fuel. Yeah, Mercedes are backmarker team in this save. Iwasa was on Rose McLaren team in season 9 of his entire save. Wow. How many seasons have you did, Jimmy? This is season 10 for us here. I am intrigued. Berman now has to get Piastri this lap, otherwise he could be looking at P7. He had Norris and Iwasa in his lineup. I did a McLaren save last game. I had Norris and Berman following Norris and Sainz and Norris and Hamilton, and Berman's just stuck behind Piastri, which is not helpful. You're on season 9 now? Well, we're on season 10. We're just a season ahead of you. So, we're neck and neck. How many championships do you have with the McLaren, Jamie? Is what I need to know. Because we have 4? It took us a while to work out the algorithm, but when we did... Yeah. Ollie finally gonna get, as we... we switched cameras actually accidentally onto O'Sullivan there mid-overtake. What's happened to Lance Stroll? We need to know! Let's have a look at this replay. We accidentally switched onto O'Sullivan there in the Aston Martin. As that overtake was progressing. Or no, it's what's happened is it what happened to Vettel? It's only your 2nd season with McLaren. Have you won any championships in your save, Jimmy? What teams have you been with? What's happened to O'Sullivan? We need to know. Yeah, Berman now is realistically battling between him and Piastri. Does not have the tyres to catch Tsunoda. Absolutely does not have the tyres to catch Tsunoda. It is him between Piastri. Piastri's mediums are going to fall off soon though. So I reckon we can cover this off. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. I don't want to push too hard to ruin Berman's tyres. Meanwhile, chat, we're going to save this. We're going to save it, chat, to make sure that there's no late PC crash like there was last season. Well, not even a PC crash, a PlayStation crash. There was a late PlayStation crash last time out in Monaco last season. Meanwhile, Leclerc now is going to go for the fastest lap out of the final corner. Meanwhile, yeah, I reckon Berman can drop the hammer now and escape Piastri. But can Leclerc get the fastest lap? Now Norris has the fastest lap on much fresher sauce. I doubt we're going to be able to beat that, but you know, the McLaren's slow, so you never know. But we're going to push now through Leclerc now. Going to start the final lap. Does he have the fastest lap? He does! Leclerc is a madman. He managed Ferrari in the first 7 seasons. How did that go for you, Jimmy? Did you have any Ferrari wins of the championship? Russell ahead of Pourchaire. Yeah, they're battling for podiums here. And if Russell can keep ahead of Pourchaire, it'll help us surely in the championship. So this is the battle we want to watch on the final lap here. And keep an eye on Berman's fuel. Meanwhile, who's here? Is this Norris? This is Norris in the battle here. Just kind of on those soft tyres. And I reckon we're going to keep the fastest lap because Norris is now in traffic. I'm gonna tell Behrman just to conserve, just to put my mind at ease.
For the brakes.
But this is the battle for the podium, and Russell, if he gets the P2 here, it'll surely help us extend our lead in the championship. As we head on through. Do you remember to see if he... Oh, Leclerc won. Oh, I forgot. He went past the line. Leclerc wins. He was that far ahead. Meanwhile, where are we? Pourchaire and Russell now come up to the final corner. Brilliant win from Leclerc. Dominant win. Even more dominant than last season, surprisingly. Meanwhile, Russell keeps P2. Pourchaire P3. Pourchaire's still so consistent regardless. Big result for Red Bull, absolutely, Sean. Russell and Joe getting good points there. And Behrman getting a P6 in Monaco. We will take it. We will take it.
Checkered flag.
Vanguard, please stop bringing it up before I start crying on stream. No one tell Jamie what happened in Bahrain. No one tell him. I'll start crying, I swear. Anyway, Leclerc wins, followed by Russell, Pourchaire, Joe, Tsunoda, Behrman, Piastri. O'Sullivan gonna get his first points in Formula 1 with Aston Martin, followed by double points for Alpine. Meanwhile, Maloney unable to get points for McLaren, and Lawson as well. But brilliant result there from Red Bull, brilliant result from Ferrari yet again, brilliant result from O'Sullivan. And we're gonna get Leclerc with the three-peat here in Monaco, his third Monaco victory in a row, following his third championship in a row with Ferrari. But can Leclerc make it a four-peat this season? And with the win in Monaco is surely gonna help. It's surely gonna help things.
What a great outcome that is for the team.
And thank you everyone for joining us this week.
I don't see Leclerc winning every race, Sean. We normally focus on next season at some point. And also there's always like a race like Singapore that we're just bad at, or like Abu Dhabi we're always bad at. Especially because we don't take new engines later on. But anyway. Next time out, chat, we are gonna have... Where are we in? We've got our chassis design complete. That's lovely. We're gonna be in Spain. I think this is gonna be our last chassis of the season, so let's just make a load. Make 7. 4 days until Spain. No rear wing. And remember what happened season 9 in Spain. Yeah. The most mental race of all time was season 9 in Spain. Never to be topped. Yeah, Vanguard, that's honestly the best way to describe it. For those of you in the chat, including Jamie, I'm gonna send you this clip in the chat before we leave. Just watch this race. It is the most insane race you'll ever see. What now? Are you still streaming? Because I was literally about to raid your stream. But for those of you in the chat who have not seen my TikTok, please just watch the video. You don't need to follow or anything if you don't want to. Just watch the video. It is the most ridiculous race you've ever seen on any F1 Manager game. Click the link before I say this. Spoiler alert. 5 of the top 6 in the championship were out of the race immediately. So like, into turn 1, 4 cars out. There's a red flag. On the restart, 2 cars out. Oh no, was it 3 cars out or 4? But yeah, 5 of the top 6 in the championship out immediately. So, which led to, again, another spoiler alert, the first Haas win in the entire save. 10 seasons in, Haas's first win, with Verschoor winning. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't think we're going to see that again. But anyway, chat, if you have enjoyed, thank you all for watching. If you do want to drop a follow, please do. I'm going to raid What Now on our way out. What Now is in the chat right now. We're going to be sending all of the viewers over to him, so please drop him a follow on the way over. And if you haven't followed yet, please do, because next time we'll be back for Spain. And if you've watched that link in the chat, there could be a part 2, which I am praying there's not, because I would like both of our cars to make it round turn 1. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, please follow, and also make sure to follow What Now on your way. But thank you all for watching. I've been WHFRO, and goodbye.